What's up, fight fans? As always, thank you so much for coming through. Much appreciated. Remember, hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. All right, this is probably going to be one of, I don't know, 10 videos in the lead up to what is the biggest fight this year. Financially, definitely. And definitely the biggest fight stateside, and that's Gennady Golovkin versus Saul Alvarez. I literally just finished watching the first fight because I didn't want to make this video and be biased. And I easily can be biased, and I openly say that. I'm a massive Gennady Golovkin fan. I have been for a few years. Not that I'm not a Saul Alvarez fan, but look, if they're fighting each other, you can only pick one, right? And I obviously pick Gennady Golovkin. And so it's difficult, I think, sometimes to make these videos without being a bit biased. Let's say it that. I remember when I did my post-fight video for their fight in, when was it, September, if I saw so many of the comments, if you're a Gennady Golovkin fan, you think Gennady Golovkin won that fight by a couple of rounds. If you're a Canelo fan, you think Canelo might have sneaked it or definitely got the draw. And I've noticed if you're on either side, either man done enough. And so watching it back again now, it definitely was a close fight. You know what the funny thing is? You can have a close fight and the scores could be so wide. Because in the day, rounds are scored 10-9, 10-9, 10-9, 10-9. Gennady Golovkin could win every single round and it could be 10-9. So it looks like it's a shutout, but it wasn't a shutout. I still think Gennady Golovkin won that fight. Having watched it now again, without all the emotion, whilst actually knowing the result, I think Gennady Golovkin won that fight. I think the rounds were uber close. So they could go either way, but for me, Gennady Golovkin done enough in most of the rounds to win at least 7 of those rounds, for me. I think watching it, that Canelo almost put on 30-second bursts in a few rounds, and those 30-second bursts could steal you rounds. And it reminds me of the way Felix Sturm used to fight. Felix Sturm used to do it as well. He used to tuck up, take shots, look great. 30 seconds, bang. Which is why sometimes I hate that 10-second clapper. That 10-second clapper happens and a lot of fighters start to put on burst, and you'd be surprised how the judge remembers what happened in the last 10 to 20 seconds and doesn't remember what happens in the first 2-minute 40 seconds. So for me, very, very close fight. But I was still, without being biased and being straight here, give it to Gennady Golovkin. All right, so we have a rematch. And I think it's great that they have a rematch. I think there has to be some sort of conclusion to this. I think a draw for that type of fight just kind of it doesn't put a nice taste in my mouth, put it that way. You want to see that there is one definitive champion. You want it to be one clear number one at 160 pounds. And right now, because of the draw, everyone's still not quite sure, even though that for me is Gennady Golovkin. Being a bit biased, I guess. Rematches most times go exactly the same way the first fight. So if I thought Gennady Golovkin won the first fight, I'm probably going to edge towards Gennady Golovkin again. That's just how it works. But in this instance, I might change my mind a bit. And these are the reasons. I remember when Floyd fought Canelo. And I remember thinking, Floyd is one smart SOB. Look, Floyd is one of the greatest fighters of all time. So look, Floyd could have won regardless anyway. But I thought Floyd is getting him at a great time, right? I think Floyd fought Canelo when Canelo was 22, 23. I think still a bit raw in his approach. I mean, yes, strong, but not as confident as Canelo is now. So I've always said, get Canelo early because Canelo is going to turn into something a bit special. And I look at Canelo now going into this second fight, and I think if I'm Canelo and I'm his team, I think we felt Gennady Golovkin's punches now. We know exactly what they're like. And that's always the mystery, right? The intrigue. Everyone's a bit like, oh, Gennady Golovkin punches like the hardest, like a heavyweight. You hear it all the time. He punches like a cruiserweight. And you all have that trepidation going in there against him. Canelo's felt the punches now. So it's almost like, okay, I know exactly what you've got. And that fear factor that I had in maybe the early rounds, no longer. I know what you can do to me. Also, at 35, I know I'm not watching the best Gennady Golovkin anymore. It could be that Canelo is so good and made him look so bad in spots. But after watching the Jacobs fight, even after watching a couple of rounds against Kell Brook, I know that the Gennady Golovkin that I think is a killer is still there. But he's not the same Gennady Golovkin that I saw in 2013. The one against Protzka, the one against Rosado, Ishida, and Macklin, and Curtis Stevens. That Gennady Golovkin doesn't exist anymore. Don't get me wrong, that Gennady Golovkin was a 9-10. This Gennady Golovkin's a 7-8, which is still incredible, but he's not the same Gennady Golovkin anymore. He isn't. He looks slower. He looks a bit more predictable. And you might even say the punch power maybe isn't what it used to be either. Maybe. Again, we're just hypothesizing here. I don't think the punch power is what it was. So we go into this fight, and you feel like, for me, it's a case of Canelo's got a bit better, because I think he still will get better. Canelo's probably not going to reach his peak till he's about 29. He's 27 now. So Canelo's getting better all the time. Gennady Golovkin is slipping all the time. Naturally, he's getting older. Has Canelo got better and Gennady Golovkin slipped enough for Canelo to beat him? That's the question. I think he could have. I think he could have. Do I still think Gennady Golovkin wins? Yes. But I won't be surprised if Canelo beats him. I won't be. Because like I said, Gennady Golovkin is 35. He's getting older. He's no longer at the peak of his powers. Whereas Canelo, I think, is getting better day by day. And I think we're going to see another extremely close fight. And if I had to put my mortgage on it, I'd go Golovkin. But I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo beats him. I just wouldn't. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Peace.